passed, we should kickstart. So, Assalamu alaikum all, and thank you for joining to another arranged talk by the Sanato Jadarit team. Today we have with ourselves Jahangir Saib, who's going to be speaking to us about a very important topic. I think it's maybe the ABC to anyone looking into business. The first thing was to how to make a winning business or case plan. So just a bit of background into Jahangir Saab's former employment. He's the founder of the Nets Group, which is a leading telecommunications and IT solutions provider operating in over 26 countries. He brings with himself with over 40 years of industry experience, including senior roles at T-Mobile and Wadeen Telecom. He has led the Nets Group evolution from a regional service provider in the Middle East into a multinational leader in telecom infrastructure and digital transformation, delivering mission critical solutions worldwide. So this is someone who's obviously knows how to run a very successful business, and I think it'll be a very important course, especially for people who are looking to set up their own business. So without delay, I'd like to hand over to Jahangir Saab. Oh, sorry. And just a reminder of the house rules. If anyone can please keep themselves on mute and cameras off. As we go through it, feel free to put questions in the chat box, and then we will get through to those at the end. Jazakallah. Thank you, Jahangir Saab.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shweb, for the introduction. So 40 years of experience. I'm 48 right now. So my experience is 25 years. A mistake and a correction from my side, because the business was founded by my father. So I'm like a second generation founder into the company. So the topic chosen today, we're going to cover a few things at the outset. It's the key components of a business plan. And then there are some tips for people who want to get into business. And then there are tips for people who are already running the business. So I'll try to run through the presentation in about 30-35 minutes, and we'll try to leave as much time as possible for the questions. So please feel free to send your questions over the chat. Um, so, so whenever you're thinking about business, it's very important to think what is the purpose of the business. The purpose, generally people say, is to make money and lots of money. So the purpose has to be higher than making money. It's something fundamental that you want to achieve in life. Put out your talent, put our team together, and actually achieve something. So that is generally what we say. The why of the business is very important. Otherwise, if you will not make money, or you will get a bit disappointed, you will stop doing it. So purpose fundamentally is very important when you even start thinking about a business. The second part is the vision. Is what do you want the business to become? To give an example of some of the most accomplished firms about what they talk about vision, the Microsoft vision is that they want to see a computer in every office, in every desktop, and in every home. Airbnb vision is to make people home everywhere. So the visions can happen or get completed in about 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, but it sets the tone for the entire organization, that what they want the organization to become. And that is what then trickles into the objectivity of the business, the teams you set up, the goals you set up. And whenever you get confused about, or you want to get into a new business or a subset of the business, then you go back to the question that what the vision is this something in line with the vision or not? So the vision is the what part, and the strategy of a company is how do you deliver that vision. um, so it's this fundamental why, what, and how that you need to think about when you're thinking about business. It's not that you met someone who's doing the business, he's successful, okay, I want to do that business. So these three questions that you must ask yourself, and put them down before you even start considering that I want to make a business plan. So just to put into perspective, what is the purpose and the vision of Nets? As you see, what I've put in, the purpose is we want to provide sustainable employment through future reskilling of the employees and nurture entrepreneurship. So here, the idea is that we want to have enough business, enough diversification, so that people don't have to go and look for jobs anywhere else, where people can be comfortable working, that they have work to do, where people are not waiting, that people are not just thinking, we could be terminated the next day, or they have a lot of uncertainty. And the way of doing that is to continue to upskill them in the technologies, in the areas to keep them marketable. And not only for the employees, but the industry itself and even the employees, to train them into entrepreneurship. And because individuals are responsible to run their families. Individuals are the people who create opportunities in the market. So if you give them this comfort, that's the purpose Nets has. Now, it has nothing to do with dollars or making lots of money, but that is what keeps the top management and this busy, that they have to stick to the purpose in whatever decision making they do. The vision is to become a preferred partner in telecommunications, energy infrastructure, and digital solutions. So preferred means whenever in the territories that we are operating, we want to be seen as a provider of choice. Now, this could be top three, this could be top 10, but the idea we have put up is the word preferred. So, just a few vision examples that I gave earlier, and these are the examples that I've given for the company I run myself, and that is I will keep on giving examples of the different components of a business plan, so that you have examples or perspective to follow. So what are the key components of a business plan? One is the executive summary, which we have covered, is the vision, the purpose. But there's also a very important point in this. What is the USP? What is the unique selling point of the business that you want to set up, so that it is not very easy to copy it, so that it is not just based on price cutting. You want to start a business that I want to make let's say laptops. I can make laptops much cheaper than Dell or others. I mean, tomorrow they can put the price down and bring you out of the market. So your unique value proposition should be such that it stands the test of today. And how can you keep making yourself unique in the future? Because business is not something that is you're creating for a day. It is for years. It is for even generations. That's the perspective you should keep in mind. So just FedEx, the unique selling point about them is that they guarantee that in whatever way possible, we are going to make the overnight delivery possible anywhere in the world. And to achieve that unique selling point, they have private jets also, so that they do not disappoint the customer. Okay, the public airlines were not available, they could not deliver it, XYZ reason. Their USP is that whenever there is business critical or any logistic needs to be delivered anywhere globally, they will get there overnight. Now, when you think about the business plan, you also have to think about what market are we operating in, what is happening in the industry, who my competitors are, so that you don't think sitting in your own room, in your own house, in your own mindset that I'm the best, and in your and there's nobody else who is into a similar line, or they don't know what move I'm going to make. You'll be surprised that a lot of times when people come up with certain ideas, sometimes they don't even know that somebody even next door is doing the same thing. You know, like in today's world, everybody's talking about, I want to make an AI app, to do this, to do that. And everybody thinks that I have the best app, I have the best business case. But, it's realistically, it's very important to do the market and the competitor analysis. And what follows through is once you have the vision, you have the goal set up, the market landscape, who your competitors are, then you see that with these goals, how do I need to deliver? You need a team. So your team is also dependent on what kind of business you want to start. But the typical things in an organization is the sale function, the supply chain function, the logistic side, it's the finance side. typical points, but again, this could also be done by a single entrepreneur when they are starting a very small business, or this could be as complicated as you starting with organization of, maybe even 50 to 100 people. And then the last part is the financial numbers, that whatever you are thinking and in the business plan, what revenue figures are you talking about? What is going to be the cost of that? Um, uh, how are how are you going to, how profitable are you going to be? How much funding do you need? So I will carry on with the sample business plan that I have later on. But these are four fundamental things, which when you create a business plan, you have to keep these things in mind. So I mentioned earlier that once you have the purpose, the vision, the USP, now you need to break down into what the high level goals are. Typically, business growth is a goal. So in case of nets, I've just put it down that today we are at 25 million pounds in the western regions. We want to go up to 93 million pounds by 2030. So we have a longer term goal to get there, and there are the year-wise targets also. Geographical targets are we want to get to 8 more regions. On the bottom right side, you see there is a global talent target. That is, we want to upskill another 200 people to get to this, to be able to achieve these kind of revenues. This is the kind of manpower we need to upskill. So this is an example of goal and objectives, so that it gives you a way back, uh, quantifiable numbers, key performance indicators, so that you can always go back and forth and compare. This is what I set out to. How am I doing in this particular goal? If something is not working out, why is it not working out? But um, based on your earlier working, these are the goals that you stick with, and then you do a weekly review or monthly review or a quarterly review, depending on the nature of the business. So one part which I wanted to give spend a little bit more time is the market landscape. Is what kind of market are you getting into? So we as Nets, we are into a telecom market. We provide fiber connectivity to the consumers through telecom operators like OpenReach, Vodafone, and others. So so we were looking into the US market about 1.5 years ago. So we did some working before even going into the market. So we saw that how is the market of fiber doing in the last 5 years. So you see, we are capturing that the number of subscribers in 2020 were 43 million, and by 2024 they had increased to about 70 million plus. So that means it's a growth rate of about 13%. That means it's a growing market. Sometimes the markets you have are static and not growing. You have to think about, should I go into a market which is not growing or where the trend is going down? Plus, it is very important to see that as per the total household number of homes in the US, how many of them are connected or reachable by fiber optic today, So the figure in 2020, um, in 2024 became up to 56.5%. So that means about 40% plus of the US is still unconnected or disconnected with, fiber. So this became a rationale that there is capacity in the market. As a contractor, when we're going, then we see the trend. What will happen in the next 5 years? Because I'm going into the market in 2025, and for any business, you generally look at a minimum 5 year outlook. So these outlooks are generally given by market reports and so on. So if you look here, I'm showing that there is a term I'm using, TAM. TAM actually means total addressable market. That means that is a capacity of the market left for me as one of the parties who are competing in that market. So a lot of contractors are working in the market, and we will compete for this $70.6 billion opportunity in the US market from 2025 to 2030. And these um, and if you now look at Austria, the TAM is 2 billion pounds, but it shows the penetration or the connectivity of the fiber is only 33%. That means there is 67% markets still left to be captured. So you find these kind of market search reports. Usually you can use Google or the industry reports or talking to a few customers to validate this. But this is extremely important that whenever you go into business to see what the opportunity size is, and who are the competition there, what is the government support happening, because in infrastructure side the government plays a very important role. Like in UK, the government has a fund of 5 billion pounds that they want to help connect the rural areas. So these kind of feedback also play a role in your planning when you're executing in a certain industry or a market. Then another thing you need to look into the business is there's something called SWOT. It's the analysis of the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat in the market. So what I've put here is live what we did for the US. So we looked at last year that what are our strengths. Our strength is that we have already acquired a key customer, Metronet, which is part of T-Mobile, right? What are the opportunities? The opportunities is government is investing heavily in both the on the federal side and on the statewide side. What are the weaknesses? The weaknesses is not enough quality manpower available on the ground. So even if I have a lot of business, if I don't have the people, quality people on the ground, I won't be able to deliver on that business. It's a challenge for me. Age is quality and then the reliability, because when the market is there are a lot of players in the market, everybody is trying to get the same manpower. So the demand for the people is very high, and the people would switch easily, so that is why the question about reliability comes in. And what are the threats? So when we go initially in the market, it's difficult to create your own teams. So you hire subcontractors. Like in our business, we engage some other companies to do the business for us. But when you are new into a country, that means you haven't really tested those subcontractors except looking at the track record. And the only track record which really matters is when you have actually worked with them on ground. So this is how you do it's a SWOT analysis, that where are you standing at any given point of time. And based on these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat, you make your strategy. Then how do you enter into the market or you play in the market? So now I'll go through a business plan that we recently made, which is introducing smart homes in UK. So this business plan is in the process of being executed. So this is pretty confidential information, but I'll just like to show you that how does the business plan look like, and all the other components that I mentioned in the previous slides will give you an indication. So this is the smart home business plan. The whole idea of the smart homes is that you look at your homes, access control. So with just with your eye scanning, your doors could open. You have your cameras working. You get up in the morning and the curtains start drawing to the side. In the morning, your favorite music plays, or the coffee starts getting brewed up with a certain level in your fridge. You don't have certain grocery, it looks into ordering that. In your home, the robo cleaner gets activated at a certain point of time. When you're away from home, your the lights and all the systems are closed. When you're getting into your home, your garage opens automatically, giving you that feeling. The AC goes on to a certain thermostat. So it's a kind of a lifestyle kind of a business which we are doing on top of the traditional business we do of fiber. So if you look at the sections, what we have done here is we are giving an executive summary, is to deliver intelligent, wellness-centric solutions to traditional homes, because in UK, things change very, very slowly. So we can't ignore the traditional homes. What is the market opportunity? We are, covering that. People looking at health, energy efficiency, flexible working on demand is demanding these solutions. What is our positioning? I mean, how are we going to be positioning ourselves? So there are many, players in the market. They have, for every different component of a smart home, people have different apps. There are a lot of challenges in integrating. So we have developed using a universal app to manage all these devices through a single interface, making life easy for a normal house customer. So what is the SWOT analysis is cover? And then this is very important. Your business has to structure that what is the foundation and preparation. So this is our stage from now till September because it started in back in July. What are we going to do? We're going to build the team, build the collateral, do some early installations. Then we will do pilot outreach. We'll do a few deployments and we will, in a lean, mean way, we will test, a few homes. So we have already tested 5 homes. But once we uh, done our market research. We have that collateral ready. We have deployed some customers. Now we're able to walk. Now we need to start jogging. So we will scale. We'll do marketing. We will do up. It's called below the line marketing, above the line marketing, setups in the different high streets. So this kind of stuff with some property developers. So the idea is start small but put the structure one by one. Then the other portion is we have put a detailed market research report in this that what is happening in the market. The market needs an integrated smart home ecosystem. I'm not going into details because it will take a lot of time. So just a component. Now we have done the competitive benchmarks, the global players and the local players. So look, they're about, it's not something new. People like, Amazon, Google, Samsung's, Crestron, these are global players who are operating in the market. We have put what are their specialization, where is their geographic focus, what is their key differentiator. So we're studying the market before entering into the market. Then we have put in what are the UK specific companies in this field. Again, the same thing, specialization, key differentiators, and you look this is limitations. What are the limitations and solutions? We need to understand the pain point of the market, the customer. We also need to understand the weaknesses of our competitors. Then what is our delivery model? Because how would we deliver them? The aspect of planning, actually deployment, and the maintenance. Are we going to do it in-house? Are we going to do it, subcontract? And then we are segmenting customers. Again, in marketing, it's also very important that not every customer has the same requirements. A 50-year-old, uh, person would have a different requirements compared to a Gen Z, person. The 50-year-old plus guy is not going to be interested in using technology tools, but the Gen Z is going to be. So we have categorized the who are wellness conscious, who are new house owners, who are urban eco developers, and see again, we have developed the SWOT. Now, the SWOT this time is created for the product that we have. And also, we have put the SWOT for the companies also. There are two SWOTs. What I mentioned earlier, the strength, the weakness, the opportunities, and the threats. And then you have to have a mitigation plan that how am I going to cover my weaknesses? How am I going to, address the threats that I have? So this all has to be thought through. You cannot wait to get into business and you get a shock and then you start reacting. That is the thing you have to avoid in business. Then the sales strategy. Now, the biggest piece of any business is that if you have a great idea, you have got a great product, but if you can't sell, there is no point of that business. And there are different ways of doing selling. Selling could be you're selling it online, you're selling it through your own salespeople, or you're selling it through, the stores or different channels. So there are different strategies. Are you going to sell it direct to the consumer, or you're going to sell to another business which will sell to the end consumer? So sales strategy again is documented and it's very, very important. And then I'm just going to jump to the okay. I remember I spoke about the key component is the organization structure. So here, so we have a global product head who has a product head reporting to into him, and the product head is looking at the product research, the integration engineer who's going to pioneer the solution. Then we have an operation head who's looking at the sales side. He's looking at the technicians who are going to do the deployment. And then we have on the last side, you're seeing the customer support side. So, so the organization structure addresses your entire way. How are you going to address the entire life cycle of the customer? And of course, the last part, if you have a great business idea, you have implemented that, you have been able to sell that, but you need to make money also. So you need to do projections, you need to do forecasting on a month by month basis. You need to know. So if you see here, we are putting in every month how many customers are we going to be added. So he said we will have three customers in August. By October, we'll have five. That means we're adding two more customers. And by the end of the year, by June 2026, we're going to have 25 customers. Then what is the revenue are we going to earn per customer? What is going to be once we have provided the solution, what is going to be maintenance revenue? Maintenance revenue again is very important because this is something that gets renewed every year. So your total revenue. To get to this revenue, what is going to be the cost you're going to incur? That is called COGS. COGS is called cost of goods sold. But there's another cost, which is the fixed cost of business. So even if you the COGS is something which is the variable cost. So if you buy, so I'm not manufacturing any smart home solutions. I'm providing smart home solutions from different vendors. So if I get 10 orders, I'm going to buy 10 set of orders. That is called the variable revenue and variable cost. So if I only get order for five, I will only have to buy five systems. But the fixed cost is the cost I have to incur from day one. No matter I sell zero items or I sell 10 items, I'm going to incur the cost. So that is usually the cost of the manpower that we have in-house, which is the product head, the pre-sales guy, the integration engineers, the R&D cost, the marketing cost, salespeople cost, their commission cost, all becomes part of this. And then in the end, you calculate your profit. So this is a simplistic sheet of financials, but we have to make it month on month, at least make it for 2 years. People make it for 5 years also, but if you're able to make it for 2 years, great. I know this is very tough for new businesses. Whatever business even I have done, I've been successful in a few, failed some. The original business plan has never worked, but it gives you a guiding force where you always go back, you look at what we had planned, where we are, and then you adjust yourself accordingly. So business plan is not a one-time document. It's a uh, it's a living document that you need to keep going back and forth, at least on a quarterly basis. And similarly, that was a month by month plan. Here we have done the projection for 5 years, so that whenever we make decisions, we also should think about the next 5 years. So we are saying that we will, from 26 customers, we're going to go to 10,000 customers. So that's a big jump. So what will happen? It gives you that. And for the investment perspective, this is also very important. That what kind of business am I getting into? I'm going to go from a $140,000 business to a 60 million pounds, business. I'm not going to go into financial terms. It gets pretty, uh, you know, will become pretty detailed. Shoaib sir,
No,
I have
you're
a few
fine.
more
You're
slides to
fine for
go,
time.
so I would like your suggestion
No, yeah,
that.
let's keep going. If there's more questions, I'm waiting for
Okay,
questions to come in the chat, then I'll intervene. But for now, we can keep going.
okay, that's fine. Um, so now what I'm going to cover, as I said earlier, is there's a section on people who want to get into business. What are the key things they have to look into those? So first of all, it's a very noble profession. Thinking about business, our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was also a trader. He was a businessman. So it's a sunnah to be in business. You have to be able to identify what the real problems are. So, for example, whoever came into Uber, and when you identify a solution, it doesn't have to be an incrementally better solution. It has to be miles better. It has to be at least a 10 times better solution. So imagine the way we were booking taxis early, getting a business card, calling them, getting busy numbers, not even knowing that when the taxi would, really come, not being able to track when are we going to be, where are we as part of the journey if somebody else wants to look at where we are. So Uber, made it at least 10 times better, the whole aspect or the whole process of getting, taxis booked. So just similarly, always prepare a simple, lean business plan. As I mentioned earlier, in smart homes, I mean, this is one of many business we have got into, but even we are going through. Okay, uh, plan a business, make small steps, and then you walk, you jog, and then you run. The focus should be, even if you start working, before you start working on anything, please always think about how will you actually sell that product or service, because this is the aspect people generally miss. You should know what your competition is doing. You should know about market size and funding needs in a lean and efficient way. Go to your uncles who tell you that we love you, or we would like to help and assist you. Ask them to bootstrap you or help support in that idea. Leverage your network, your family and friends. uh, uh, Share with them, make that, like the business plan that I just showed you, make a business plan, take their ideas. Friends who are in similar industries, whoever, anybody and anyone who you are closely or not even closely knitted, you need to reach out to them. Networking is the key as aspiring entrepreneurs. You have to love meeting people, interacting with them. Generally speaking, there could be exceptions, but this is an area that uh, you must be open to this. Sanat Tijarat is the Jamaat platform which is getting very active. So you must be part of all the talks, engage and get through mentors through Sanat Tijarat. Have one-on-one meetings planned. We will definitely help you in assisting you or interacting with the right people who can guide you of that particular industry, of that particular product. Plus, always find one potential customer of your product and services who is not willing to try, but who is willing to pay you also. Because generally, if a friend comes up to me and out of niceness, I would say, okay, it's a great product, it's a great solution. Yeah, I'm okay for a trial. But is he going to pay you for that? You must ask them the question that if this works for you, are you going to pay an X amount for this? So always test. Don't leave things to, ho jayega, it will happen, some magic thing happen. Nothing magical happens in business. So you got to ask for clarity. Also, do not overthink the risks, because I see that the way the world is going, the jobs are as equally risky as businesses. You don't know tomorrow. You might land into the office and they will be, or even you're sitting in your home. I mean, I don't want to say that, but you might just get an email that your service is not required. So these are not the jobs of yesterday where people used to work for 10, 15, 20 years and they used to think, this is our a lifelong job. These things are unknown now, especially in UK. When I meet about 9 out of 10 people who are fresh graduates, they're struggling to get jobs, and people who are out of jobs, they're also struggling to find other jobs. So entrepreneurship, businesses, this is the mindset you need to start working on, because I see this is the only way the that you will get sustainability. And your true potential cannot be realized when you're just reporting into the people. Even if you have the best boss in the world, um, he will never get your gut instinct. He will never be able to 100% visualize what you are visualizing. So your full talent, your full potential is unknown unless you get the bull by the horn, or unless you take control of the things yourself. I think high taxation is another motivation to be in entrepreneurship, because you can be, it's much more generous from that angle. As I already mentioned, seek mentors, um, And another thing I've seen in our community and otherwise also, that people who have more formal education, they are more risk, they're less risk taking. They plan, they ask so many questions. They will have um, so many sessions that, and so many questions not related. Why shouldn't we get into this? So don't get obsessed with the risk. You go and do detailed planning as we had shown in different aspects, and then you go for it. So, and generally, my grandfather used to say that in Punjabi, पढ़े लिखे होन तो सोचा ही सोचा, अनपढ़ होन तो मौजा ही मौजा. That means that if you're educated, then you are thinking too much. You are obsessed with those thinking, and when you are not too educated, I mean, the only thing you have is you go for action. You don't think too much, and you go for the action. So and they're winning. If you will, most of the entrepreneurs you will see, they're less educated and they're doing better than the people who are more educated, who have done MBAs, but just not taking that first move. Now, some factors other than aspiring entrepreneurs, we have people in Jamaat already doing business. So some of the things over the period that I have learned, not that I'm a great businessman, but some of the tips that has worked for me, and interacting with people, they've come to me. Always hire people smarter than yourself or more intelligent than you. Otherwise, generally speaking, we get very happy about telling people, our subordinates or the people reporting into us, we are downplaying them. You don't know this, you don't know that. I have to end up doing everything. This is why, because you have got mediocre people reporting into you. You're not willing to listen to them. And if they give smarter ideas, you start getting, uh, it's I would not say jealousy, but it's just start hitting your ego. So if you will get smarter people, they will challenge you and they will make you build a better organization. Then if you have hired people, then have empower them, give them the opportunity to make decisions. They will make wrong decisions, but don't get over obsessed with they making wrong decisions, because then they will stop taking decisions. Collaboration is the key, because you can't do everything yourself. So even when you're especially running a new business, you don't have to hire people, as I showed you on the organization. You don't have to bring that entire organization yourself. And now in the industry, there is concepts of fraction CFOs. You can bring partners also. So if somebody is getting into restaurant business, your finance partner could be from a finance background and he could be your partner. So collaboration, and that's the spirit of Jamaat also, that instead of going on solo flights, work with people, find like-minded people uh, with this kind of similar, ethics and backgrounds. Work with them. They otherwise you will feel very very lonely in business. And people who are running business do find themselves very lonely. Um, and there's a very famous writer, Napoleon Hill. He says that you can achieve anything in life if you help enough other people to achieve what they want in life. So if you have this mentality, this perspective, this also helps. You will make relationships that'll be much stronger than just written relationships. Research and development, innovation. I mean, we have in terms of Dr. Salam and what he did is a big example. But one of the things, if you read his literature, his books, he has been constantly advising the minority communities and the developing countries to invest into research and development, because with this thing you create value creation. With this thing you create value proposition. With this you create unique selling scenarios, and you can charge a premium. If we will remain as a community who are just trading, taking goods from one place and giving to another, we will make a maximum margin of 10% if we are lucky, and sooner or later we will die. But if we invest into or make companies where we make products, where we work into or invest into innovative things, do proper research and development, you can sell a single unit for 1,000, even 1,000% margin, because you will have that intellectual property with you. You will have that differentiation. You will have that backing with you to do that. So leverage government subsidies and incentives, like nowadays the EV market is booming. The government is providing, grants for those. So ride the wave. Don't go against the wave. Like in the broadband market, the government is investing that if you are putting up networks in the rural areas, we'll give you X amount of subsidy. So keep a track in your industry. Plus, run your business like a chess game. You have to get from one side to another. Sometimes you have to take a single step. Sometimes you have to go like a horse. You go two step forward and you make a right move, or you go two step forward and you make a left move. So in business, you have to get from one side to another. Imagine your entire business journey as much as you can. It's difficult, but then think about if you will hit a snag, if you had to hit a threat, if you hit a risk in the middle, what are you going to do? If you have made a game plan around it, then the chances are that you will not just be bewildered, but you will find the way forward. You said, okay, I imagined that just for the risk, and I will take this action. So you'll continue to move without any break, which is very, very important, and strive for excellence in every area. So in business to be successful, you your sales, your finance, your logistics, your HR, your operation team, everything has to be excellent. If you're weak in any area, your business cannot be a successful business. If it will be successful, it'll be for a limited time. So your focus should be on each and every part of the business. Now, from the Islamic perspective on business and what the guidance we have from our Khulafas, I would recommend reading these two books from Hazrat Mirza Bashiruddin Sahab, Rahmatullah Alayh, The Economic Structure of Islam and the New World Order. Excellent books written in the early 1900s, but are still applicable, and they provide a very fresh perspective in the way how should businesses be run, and what is the new world order. So you must go through those. So build strong moral ethics, do every task for the pleasure of Allah, embrace global experience. The whole world is, Allah. Somebody say, I'm from UK, I'm from USA. No, no, the whole world is from Allah. So globalization should be key part of your strategy in whatever you do. And you should become agents of change. If you have been given an opportunity by Allah, then make the most of it. Why go half-hearted? Go full on. Some successful examples I saw from even while I was in Pakistan, that Thyre Heart Institute in the middle of Rabwa. You have such an amazing institute where even non-MD medical professionals were recommending that for heart surgeries go to Thyre Heart Institute in Rabwa. So that is the kind of reputation MDs have to bring in excellence, no matter where you are, and even non-MDs should recommend and vouch for the professionalism and the excellence of the MD, businessman. Transformations, when done in the right direction, they make a big impact. Look at what China has done in the last 20 years. They are making the world powers like USA kneel to them. So, and the only capital which Dr. Abdul Salam also highlighted they had was the HR. They had the manpower. Manpower itself is a big capital. And Jamaat has the same capital. So many asylum seekers in UK today are MDs. So many more are coming in. We have that manpower, that committed manpower, that ethical manpower that can be put into, ruling, that even the MD businessmen should strive to work with them and use them. So, Sanat of the Arab aims to support and guide you throughout your professional journey. We have a lot of mentors there. Feel free to reach us, participate in our events. I'm sure that we can make a community which, through collaborations, can help us achieve whatever Khalifa wants us to achieve as a community which is pioneer in every field that we get into. Pretty much it from my side.
Jazakallah Jahangir Saab. That's been a very interesting topic, and yeah, timed very well as well. So just some comments from myself. I think this such an important talk because I think there's a pitfall I've seen with a lot of people, whether you're starting a small business or a large business. I mean, I've seen people who've opened like a grocery store, thinking, no, as long as I open the grocery store, people will come. But it's not been the case, and often I've seen it's because people haven't done the research and planning beforehand, which mainly forms part of a business plan. So thank you very much for that. I think you mentioned the importance of setting goals and targets to revisit your business plan as well, so people know where they are going and whether they are on track, and also whether they might need to look at do something different if things aren't going the same way. You've mentioned the identifying the market opportunities, and you've mentioned some sources to use this information. And I guess finally, the other thing was the what you mentioned about SWOT. I think that's a very good idea to sort of sit back and just take a look at the business from a critical point of view to see what the strengths are, what the opportunities are, weaknesses, and the threats, and then finding ways to a plan in place so that when these things do occur, you're ready for it to know, well, okay, I knew this was going to come. Here's my plan. So I think a comment is like not for people not to just look at this for a complex business plan for a complex business, sorry, but I think if you would agree that a business plan should be for all types of businesses, not just something complex and large, even if it's something small. So Jazakallah, thank you for that. We do have a few questions. First one I thought might be good is if you know, because I know a lot of people are interested in setting up their own business. Do you have any recommendations for a sample template people can use for a business plan?
So I can, Shoaib, I can share as part of the presentation, well, share some templates which they can use. But as I said, these are just templates. Feel
Hmm.
free to use whatever is applicable,
Yeah.
um, and and make it suitable for your own business. Now, templates, you can do chat GPT and you can, get
Hmm.
anything and everything, but I will still share a template. I can't share for smart homes.
Of course,
But
yeah.
there's something still going on, but I will share the a couple of templates that would help in going through. And as another Tajarat, we'll be happy to go through the plans you make. You can schedule a call, and we will definitely help you out on the same.
Amazing. That'd be really helpful. So I think a lot of people have been interested in the talk as well. One question we've had is someone asking if you can share your thoughts on someone who's looking to start a business while they are working or self-employed. How can they start, and what's the best way for them to test their idea?
Yeah, as I mentioned, one of the things is that test your idea with the closest relatives, with your friends, with potential customers. Take them for a coffee, for a lunch. Do a brain dump. Come to Sanat Tijarat also. We can assist because we have multiple people who are always happy to help as mentors. Um, so yeah, it's a journey. Once you get into business, forget about the 9 to 5 mentality. I know
Mhm.
I've seen my father. He used to come for his job 9 to 5, and then evening from 6 to 10 p.m., he was just visiting and meeting people. Whether they were old university friends, school friends, they so it was he used to take my his family also and meet them. So you can have work also and you can have fun also. So it's a passion. So I would say then just get out of the mentality of switching off when they come from home. That's when you switch again for at least 2 3 hours, and to some the
Mhm.
weekends are also available. um, I'm not saying that you start working 80 hours a week kind of mentality, but do something that you can sustain. Like try spending 10 to 15 hours per week on this new business idea by making a plan, as I said, discussing with the people, keep maturing, find potential customers. um, so it's a journey. It's not like it's like A B C D, then we go.
Of
And then
course.
the biggest thing, to be honest, is common sense. And which something, when you get into something, you do the research, you meet people, you keep getting more and more mature.
No, Jazakallah, thank you. That's a very
And
uh,
as I said, the other thing I think very important is attend the industry relevant events. So London and UK in particular is a great place. So if you're in smart homes, there are relevant exhibitions going on. If you are in EV, there are exhibitions going on. It's very difficult to meet industry people by setting up appointments. So industry events are one place where you can easily get the calendar and go there. In one place, you can meet 20, 30 people. That will take you 6 months to meet them. Use LinkedIn
Mhm.
to network through your channels and so on. Um, yeah, just
No, that's a very good point as well.
yes.
Jazakallah. Another question is, what key skills should new business owners or people be thinking about and focusing on?
I think if the question is about the industry, then if you look at what industries are growing, so uh, I mean, if we talk about our industry, we see that the data center market is growing extremely fast. You know, like Amazon's, Microsoft, even in the UK, local data center providers, they are building huge data centers. Now, data center doesn't mean it's a IT requirement. There is a construction requirement. There is mechanical engineering requirements. There is air conditioning, electrical power supply is a big issue for data centers. So, so this industry is becoming very, very big because these data centers have to fuel the engines or the infrastructure to drive those AI applications. Then we see the trends of these autonomous cars coming in. We see 6G, 5G, and 6G coming in. Um, these again, uh, um, there's renewable energy itself. There's a lot of down talk about it, but a lot of investment is going into the renewable itself. Um, so yeah, so these are the areas we see are happening. So you have to see the closest proximity. If you look on the medical side, you know the genetic engineering and the gene mutation that is becoming very very big. So in every industry you see breathtaking things happening. So you have to look at the relevant industries. Not that you have to stick to your industry, but the associated industries are good to look into because you have some context either of your education or your historic background that would help you connect and understand or to enter the market relatively easily.
No, Jazakallah. I think, yeah, a point you mentioned there about looking at the market itself as well to understanding it is a very good point. The last question I've got is, what are the three most critical challenges that you often face in the implementation of your strategies?
The biggest challenge I see is hiring the right people. Um, that is often the biggest challenge. Number two is whatever we plan, we usually don't, find meeting it, and then we have to. Then there's one thing that how quickly if you find a thing, then you shouldn't take a lot of time to fix it. Sometimes you keep on thinking and you take months and months. So in business, you have to be very flexible and quick enough to make those changes.
Okay,
So
don't procrastinate.
we struggle in procrastinating and not making a decision. Um, and the third thing is the funding also because you need funding when a business is not doing well. You need funding when a business is doing very well. You always need funding. So it's very important to get connected with the financial circles, with the banks, with the private equity players, with angel investors. So I would say that connectivity with the finance industry, with the finance people, is extremely important because you need them in every scenario, good times, bad times.
Of course, yeah. I think another important thing you mentioned is that you said yourself that you've implemented businesses that haven't gone ahead. So it's not always a bad thing if your business fails because you learn from it. And I guess the key thing here is that you didn't give up. You continued until you found something that did work. So maybe some advice to people on that.
Yeah, so I mean, to be honest, even now, um, because we have started five businesses, there's one business which is really struggling. So in spite of so many experiences, um, again, you think you will do it right. So I think one should always keep in mind that failures can happen. Don't take it to your ego. take practical, approaches. And one of the things I think I've mentioned, when you make those goals, objectives, and those things, this is what one of the CEOs of Intel said, that please go through your things at least on a weekly basis, how you're doing it. It's like you talk to your team and you tell them how you're doing. They would say we're doing very well, but don't limit yourself to the verbal communication. Look at the metrics of the business. How are they really doing? How are they actually performing? And they are 52 weeks in 1 year, right? So even if you miss one, 1 week out of the whole year, that means you have missed 2% of your business targets, right? So so really looking at a good feel of your business at any given point of time is very, very important.
That's fine. Jazakallah Jahangir Saab. Thank you very much. We are out of time now. But no, this the recording will be available for people to review again. Thank you everyone for listening, and join us again next week. And thank you again, Jahangir Saab, for a very informative talk on business plan. Naib Saab, there's no other closing remarks from your side, then we can end it.
No, Jazakallah, as everybody, as you kindly said, a wonderful, wonderful session, Jahangir Sahab. And folks, I mean, even if you take 5% of the wonderful knowledge that Jahangir Sahab has shared, you will go a very long way, inshallah. But please do keep these slots clear. Same time, inshallah, next week. We look forward to be able to, and the recording will be available in the next day or so. Jazakumullah.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.